All right, well, the Hard Rock Hotel is expanding. The Seminole Hard Rock Hotel and Casino in Hollywood, Florida, is working on a new $1.5 billion project, including building the world's first guitar-shaped hotel. The company is also expanding in Tampa as well. So here to discuss, in a first on Yahoo Finance interview, is Hard Rock International Chairman and CEO of Seminole Gaming, Jim Allen. Jim, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
First off, we were just taking a look at some of the pics, some of the shots right now, the new project down in Hollywood, Florida. What can you tell us about that?
Well, it's the most unique building in the world when it comes to music, right? It's literally the first designed building that's ever been shaped in an authentic scale hotel. It's a guitar, and obviously something like that was very unique construction-wise, a little bit challenging, but it's up, and we're going to announce the grand opening here tomorrow.
What's to be expected when we talk about a grand opening? What separates this from the pack when we talk about places you can go?
Well, I think number one is Florida, and obviously, you know, Florida is an amazing entertainment attraction. A building that's designed like this in itself is very unique, but there's a theater, Hard Rock Live, $125 million in this theater, which frankly will be the most state-of-the-art in the United States. There's a poolscape over 15 acres, you know, with cabanas and all different type of water activities. So really a destination resort going to the next level.
So something I'm curious about is just the kind of changing nature of gambling, for example. We've seen it a lot with sports betting in some of the states where it is legal. So Florida aside, in New Jersey, for example, in Atlantic City, you know, some of the changes have resulted in probably new revenue streams for you. I'm wondering how you're thinking about that as you kind of strategize going forward. What is really the lucrative nature of that business?
Well, certainly sports betting is exciting, but I think most people that really study it realize the margins in it are very, very slim. The real opportunity is the online sports betting, you know, through the mobile device. And that's where, frankly, there is some pretty good upside. But if you look at the historical margins in Jersey or Las Vegas, you know, less than 10%.
When we talk about New Jersey, since Brian just brought it up, they recently reported their revenues from gaming, and there was a bit of a jump, 23%, when we look at how much year over year. But part of that was because you guys weren't around.
Correct.
Before, back in April last year. So, I mean, when we look at that, 7 of the 9 casinos in Atlantic City actually reported a drop in gaming revenues. So what's the state of Atlantic City right now in your mind, and what are you seeing and where you want to be since you guys launched?
Well, I think from our standpoint, we're very happy with the market. Obviously, we were able to purchase a 4 million square foot building for $50 million. So the renovation all in, we're about $560 million. And have that size facility, you know, which traditionally new would cost in excess of $2.5 billion, we're very happy with that. The market itself, frankly, is growing. But clearly the town needs to continue to focus on infrastructure and continuing to upgrade the image of Atlantic City. And I think if that continues from the Governor Murphy and from the city and from us as an association in the industry, then Atlantic City's days are good. But if they lose that focus, then frankly we'll be okay, because frankly there's no debt on the property, so Borgata will be okay. Then after that, you know, probably one or so of the Caesars properties will be okay. And then I think it starts to get a little bit questionable.
But if it starts to get questionable, I mean, obviously it's a town that kind of relies on other properties there. You could make the same argument for Vegas. If some of you know, the Strip starts to look a little shoddy and things don't look great, sometimes people don't want to go. So I mean, are you at risk there when you talk about some of these other properties maybe losing out?
I think that goes back to where is the town. So if they are focused on safety and all those things that frankly for a period they weren't, they clearly are focused on that now. I think that's positive. Remember, the tax rate in New Jersey is the second lowest in the country. So margins in the business frankly can still be strong. If you look at Borgata, amazingly successful, right? So I think if you have the right product, you know, offering the right entertainment, focusing on quality, I think frankly the town can do well.
And just kind of thinking about the consumer, I know I'm a millennial and now millennials are having a lot more wealth to spend. What would you say your company's doing to attract that generation?
Well, I think number one, we have a massive expansion in our hotel division. So separate from the gaming properties, we have 32 hotels that are signed deals, under construction. Here in New York City on 48th Street, right next to Rockefeller Center, a brand new Hard Rock Hotel, almost 500 rooms, which if you understand New York real estate, which I'm sure you do,
it's a lot.
not the easiest thing to build.
Yeah.
You know, whether it's Berlin, London, we just literally finished a new Hard Rock Hotel at Hyde Park. The grand opening will be the end of July. So we're expanding the hotel division. We We haven't forgot about the cafes, but very minimal expansion in the cafes domestically. Most of that's internationally.
When we talk about that, though, just jumping off Michelle's question, do you think about it as kind of going up against other entertainment avenues, or do you look at it as Hard Rock needs to compete against hotels? I mean, for millennials now, I'm just thinking about things off the top of my head, even cruise lines, Richard Branson launching his own cruise line to kind of attract millennials, specifically millennials. Mm-hmm. Do you look at, I mean, what's your competitive set when you're actually trying to build these experiences to attract new customers?
Well, I think we have to look at each division on its individual merit. So retail, which is doing extremely well for us right now, clearly the design of those retail lines are geared towards millennials, right? So just a Hard Rock t-shirt, as large as the logo could be, is still nice. And there's a lot of people who like to collect those on a global basis. Remember, we're in 75 countries around the world, over 120 million visitors last year, so they're still there and we love them. But the reality is we need to create more lines that create more excitement of today's generation, including with musical artists.
Last question, though, just since you just did touch on the brand and how closely tied to music it is. I know the Tampa location, you can still rent out a guitar, kind of still have that.
All the Hard Rock hotels in the world, you can do that.
You can still have that. But then also when we talk about this this new Florida project, I mean, is there anything there that kind of is trying to bring in that entertainment aspect as well, really doubling down on that front?
Well, frankly, you know, we'll probably do between 100 and 140 shows a year, and really bringing residencies out of Las Vegas and into, frankly, this part of the country, you know, through our music relationships. And that's something I think that's very important.
All right. Jim Allen, thanks so much for taking the time.
Thank
and congrats, by the way.
Thank you very much.